Hi everyone, so today I have this beautiful collection that Spellbinders has brought to their site. It's part of the new February releases, the Through the Arbor Garden by Susan Tierney Coburn collection. So I have a few samples here. There are more pieces to the collection, but these are the ones I have today to play with. And these items were sent free of charge from my review. And of course, all opinions are my own, and any links in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. So thank you for using those if you would like. Generally, I link to Spellbinders, but sometimes I'll have it scrapbook.com or some other outlets that do carry Spellbinders items. Yeah, so I kind of laid it out in a way that, obviously we'll look at the pieces separately, but we'll look at these in just a second. So again, I get samples, so this is not how yours will be delivered. They will be on a carrier, maybe with some inspo, maybe with some instruction, depending on, what's going on with the kit. But I have the bamboo trellis background. Super cool, really nice size. Let me grab that for you. Measure on this guy. I'm looking at metal to metal, so it's gonna be a little bit smaller once you die cut it, but it's almost 4.5. I would say 4 3/8 by about 3 3/8, maybe a little smaller, just over 3 1/4. But look at this guy, and then you can layer it up. You got one piece, you put another one. However you like to use that on your cards, it's really really cool. And then it has some accent pieces, like the little ties, like you're seeing here, like the way they tied it together. Maybe some little accents for the bamboo itself on the little like knots that they has, or like the rigid like rings. We go to the zoo here locally, the Safari Zoo Park. Well, the zoo's also here local in San Diego, but it's downtown. And I don't go out there that often, or more towards downtown. So I like the zoo park. It's only like 9 miles from here, and they have beautiful bamboo growing everywhere. And yeah, you see those kind of rings that they have. Let's see. Oh, and then I have the nasturtium and galvanized wash bucket dies, and I just think that's so cute. Look at this bucket. Oh my gosh, you guys. Definitely very realistic looking, super cute. Ink it up, run it through just something gray, maybe some silvery, or maybe some older kind of patina looking paper that you might have. It's like 3.5 inches by 5 5/8, but it'll probably cut to be 5 1/4. No, 5.5 or something. In the actual width of that. It's so cute. And then it has like a little hole here that gets cut out. I don't know if you can see that, but you have the added detail there, but that does cut away just in that area. And then it has again the nasturtium, which is something that I planted years ago, and it comes back every year and more in abundance. The nasturtiums are crazy because they have like seeds that they make, and then once the flower is gone, that flower also has seeds. So there's just a lot of seeds that they just propagate like everywhere on their own. So I love them. They're so pretty and just easy to take care of. Like I don't even take care of them, and they always come back. And Miranda, my little daughter, she loves to eat them. The leaves taste a little horseradishy, but the flowers are really pretty and edible, and so she loves that. She just goes out there and pulls the petals off and eats them because she thinks that's so fun. So we have the nasturtium leaves here, and then the beautiful flowers and the flower centers. So we'll definitely tutorialize that if I do that today or in the next video. I'm just showing you the items I have, and then I work with some here and I'll work with some others in a different video. And then we have the mock orange set here. I believe that's what I chose. Yeah. And let me see why it's called mock orange. I guess because they look like little orange blossoms. Yeah, for sure. Which I have lots of citrus in my yard. Different things we planted that grow limes, oranges, tangelos, tangerines, all those kinds of things, kumquats. And so we have your branch with your leaves, you have your little mock orange blossoms, and then these centers for those guys. So simple pieces, and you're gonna make some really beautiful things. And then I have these embossing folders, and I believe, yeah, this is a 3D embossing folder. They do have a one at all bundle. The one at all bundle has all of the dies that are in this set, but not the embossing folders. Okay, so that's because embossing folder, again, it'll emboss 8.5 by 5.5, like an area about 8.5 by 5.5, but this plastic folder is 8 3/4 by 5 3/4, so you need a machine that can accommodate that. But look how beautiful these are. I mean, maybe if I can open it up, I don't know which way is better to look at it, but the beautiful bees, they're really delicate, really gorgeous. And an embossing folder, I mean, I can see like every little detail on the wings and everything. So pretty. And then this guy is one of the cut and emboss folders, and again, you can either use this or you don't have to use the die, but you would basically run it through together if you want to. or you don't. So this is the Arbor and Ivy 3D cut and emboss folder. And so then you have this piece here that if you put a piece of paper or a little something there, you're going to have a pretty little border that you can pop in. You can place this guy in there, put your paper, run it through, and it's going to cut. Now I put it at the bottom just because it's easy, but if you want to put it on this part, you know, wherever it is that you want to place it, that makes it easy for you. And then run it through, and it's going to have that beautiful 3D emboss of these gorgeous flowers. It looks, well, actually it looks like ivy. Yeah, I said flowers, but they're definitely ivy. It's called ivy. Look how pretty that is. And gives you that beautiful 3D look. And then down here, you're going to have something that you can just run through, you know, this portion, and you'll have this arbor for your cards. So pretty. I love the little, like, work here on the sides. And that guy, I can give you a quick measure. Again, it is larger, so probably good for a 5x7 type card. It's about 6 inches from the very tip here to here, and then the width is almost 4 inches. So that gives you an idea. It's generally for a larger card. Alright guys, well I'm going to think about what I would like to do. I'm going to grab some papers and we will get started. Okay guys, just to start off our card, I have a black card base here. It's 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4, so an A2 size. Nice thick white paper here that I just cut down to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. I'm going to run it through this guy, and I think I'm going this way because I want to use this guy. Now you can double it up if you want this taller, you know, on a card like that, and then add another one. I'm going to run it this way, so I'm just going to do everything in that direction. You know, I haven't given this tip in a long time because generally I don't need to do this, but if you have paper that's really thick, or maybe you think it's a little brittle, or you can just spray it with a little bit of water. I mean, like the smallest amount of water, right? So I'm just using this mister here, but just pop it in there. And it doesn't have to be drenched, just a little bit of something. And I'm just eyeballing this. Now, this pattern can definitely even go this way. I mean, it's bees, right? They're all over. But I'm just going to place it this way. I feel like that's what I want to do. And I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine. It is a 3D embossing folder, so you're going to either, you know, if you're using a Platinum 6 or like a Spellbinders machine, you want the universal system, or just use the basic plates but in a different way, because this is a little thicker than you think, than like the normal ones. So you do have to use a different kind of sandwich, but whatever works for your machine is great, and I'll be right back. Okay. And so pretty. I mean, you guys, this is really, spraying it with some water is really great when you're using a 3D embossing folder, because it is tighter sometimes, and it, you know, it obviously has higher areas and lower areas than your standard embossing folder. So spraying it really does help it mold instead of getting like cracks, you know. So anyhow, but that's really, really pretty. I was debating if I should do a little inking or anything, but I really like the pristine look of just white in the background. So we have that guy. Okay, so for these guys, I'm going to use our little bamboo trellis, and I suppose we can build that up first, because then I'll put my flowers over the top of that. So I'm going to grab some like cream colored paper. You know, if you want to just do white and color these things, you can definitely do that, like make your own background. What I would do is just take a piece of white paper and just put some ink all over it, and then run it through with this, and that way it's already done and you're not doing it afterward. Same thing with these guys. If you have a certain color of brown or twine or something that you want to use, just color some white paper first and then run it through, and everything will be colored at once instead of coloring individual things. But I'm just going to go for paper that's already the tones I want. So maybe Dune, it's a nice brownish kind of color that Spellbinders has. Just whatever colors. I'm going to go with like, I guess a lighter brown, so this looks more like twine. And then on this one, a little bit darker accent color for this guy. Okay, and I'll be right back. Actually, I found this kind of, I think it's sunset. Now, don't quote me on the names a lot of times. I think last time I said there was a color called apricot blush, because I remember apricot, but it was actually peach sorbet. So, you know. But I like that. And, you know, obviously if it's a trellis, it's old bamboo, and so it's a little weathered. But, you know, a lot of times it's kind of yellow, greeny. It just depends, and it's very green when it's fresh, you know, all that kind of stuff. It just depends on the type of bamboo, I suppose. So I'm going to go with that, because I thought that's pretty. And then kind of with the bees in the background. And I'm going to use the mock orange flowers today, so I think that'll be really great. And then this, just a piece of brown cardstock that I just have in my stash, and then just a piece of cream color. Now, I think as many of these as you need, maybe cuts at once. No, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15. and this cuts 7. So I'll run this through 2.5 times or so, and of this white creamy color, and I'll be right back. You know, I will say, since these are kind of small pieces and I just cut them out, I'm gonna go ahead and stick them down and then run the next batch through. So we have this guy, we have this guy, and of course it has embossing and all that kind of good stuff on here. And what I'm going to do, oh, hello, these pieces fall right out, is go ahead and just stick these pieces down. So I'm going to get like a fine tip glue bottle, and I'm going to follow the little crosses. So there's like little crisscrosses here, right? And then there's like little notch areas. You can just see them like this. So here's a cross, here's a notch, cross. And I'm just going to get some glue going, and I'll just go across this whole thing. There are maybe some bits at the end, but maybe I won't do those, I don't know. So, let's say I take these guys, look, they fell right out, and just take them. I don't know if there's a certain way that they're supposed to go, but I will do that like that. And then these little brown bits, I'll do these areas, just pop them on there. Now this is going to look very clean. Again, if you do inking, it's going to look a little more rustic, so definitely something to think about. Again, like I said, I don't know if these go this way, or if it matters. You know, I think the way I had it before was better. So it kind of curves there. I don't know if you can see that. And I'm facing that up. And I'm sorry, I think my neighbor's gardener showed up. I don't have a gardener. That would be my husband. All right. I'm just going to keep placing these, and hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing. So I just put the glue down, and then I'll just put all the little bits, and I'll be right back. A little bit closer just so you can have a better look with some music there. And so we have that guy, and I think I'm going to put dimensionals behind this, but maybe something that's not super high, because we also have our flowers and other things. So I did glue this down. I don't know if I mentioned that. Just put glue behind it and stuck it down. And I think I'm gonna put this here so we have like our little branch or whatever we're doing here, and then maybe a sentiment over here. So I'm just going to take some dimensionals that aren't super high and put those on the back and take off the carriers and all that good stuff, and I'll be right back because that is going to be a little bit of work here. So I'll be right back. I'm just putting them in basically all the quadrants and then down here. Okay guys, got them all on there. Take off all the backs. I'm gonna plop this right on here, and I'm just gonna hold that down for a second, make sure everything's really on there. And I'll be right back with my colors and things for the next part. Okay guys, so for my mock orange, which I just looked up because I was like, I don't think it's a citrus. I mean, I've never heard of that because obviously oranges, but like I said, it's like it still looks like that, right? So it's Philadelphus, I think is the name of the actual flower or bush type. Anyway, and really cute. I'm like, oh, maybe I should get some of those. Anyways, they're bushes, but either way, I'm gonna take this guy now. We can definitely run it through some white paper, like I said, color it. I'm trying to show you a way of doing this without doing too much of that kind of thing, just using your paper. So I'm going to run it through this, but I'm also going to run the same one through this green paper, and then just trim away what I need to keep as stem and what I need to keep as leaf area, and then, you know, our flowers will kind of cover those areas up, so I don't think you'll even notice. So we'll do that for those guys. And then for these, it says, you know, for it says 3 to 4 times to run it through. It doesn't mean each flower needs 3 to 4 of these. Each flower needs 1, so it's 1, 2. It's just 2 petal, well, 4 petal, 2 die cut piece flowers. So if you do 4 of them, you know, you can place 1 here, maybe 3 over here, or however. So I'll probably run it through 4 times just to have 4, but I do like having my flowers in odd groups. But if we did 1 and 3, then that still satisfies that. So that's just me. But I'm just going to use this white paper. It's a little bit thinner. They definitely have on Spellbinders site some special paper that's like flower paper that Susan has developed, and you can definitely pick that stuff up. It's lovely. I think I'll use this opposite side. It's a little less textured. So again, I'll run that through 4 times or so. And then just for my center, I'm just using this kind of a little bit brighter orange. If you have some of that little powder stuff, that'd be really great. Again, if I'm making 4 flowers, I'll need 4 of these. So each one takes 1, okay? And I'll be right back. Okay guys, so I left my little flowers in groups of, you know, the 2 petals because they are slightly different from each other, so I just want to keep them together. And Oh, you know what? I was going to move right on, but yeah, well, let's start with what I was going to do. I'm going to take a little finger dauber, and I'm going to do a little bit of inking. Now, if you're new to flower making, I mean, there's lots of things you can do, and once you start working with them, it gets addicting, so maybe you want to add more and more things to your collection that help you make your pretty flowers, but, you know, right now I'm just going to do a little bit of inking, and we can just use this as the back of my paper there, and then I need some green ink. And I'll probably use the same green ink and ink up some of the leaves just a little bit, just to make them look a little more lifelike. Let's go with meadow. Just like light green I have. And the very center of these guys, I'm just going to pop a little bit of color. Just gently. And you know, you might notice it, you might not. But I'm going to take all of them and do the same thing. So just in the center, right there, add a little green, okay? You can do it on both sides, but basically our flowers are going to be like this, so I'm just doing it on the one side. And so I'll do that with the other 3 sets. And while I have the ink out, I'm going to take my leaves die cut. And there are embossed areas on this. There are also on these guys, just a little something, but of course you can manipulate them to make them look a little more flouncy and fun. So for right now, I'm just going to take a little bit of this just to, the color is very much the same of what I have like on my leaves here. Just kind of down the center. And then, you know, you can take whatever tools you have, flower forming tools, whatever you have, whatever you have in your stash. If you have the 3-in-1 tool, which is great, or even your basic 3-in-1 tool, it has a lot of times a tool that might have something you can work with. So just look around, you know, actually this one, I don't even know where my tools are in this one. I must have taken them out. I put them in a different bag. This is too sharp, but sometimes you have a ball tool or other things. You can just take this guy that's kind of sharp and just kind of run it down in here and even make more scratches. I mean, there's just lots of fun ways to play with these things. I'm looking for a piece of foam, and usually I'll have like foam from an old packaging or something, but this guy, like I said, he's kind of sharp, so I'm not going to use it too much, but maybe I can help. He can help me kind of bend these guys a little bit. So just, you know, wherever it is, stylus, whatever you have that can help you do some of this stuff. Just adding a little texture. And you can even put it in your hands, you don't have to do that. Something like that, right? Okay. So we have some texture there. Now what I was going to do with this brown one is cut away the leaves and then just pop this onto here. Now you can also go in here and add some brown ink, whatever you think helps it look more lifelike. But I'm going to cut like in here, and I'm going to cut this away on this side, and this way in here. And like I said, I'll try to cover those areas with my little flowers, so you're not going to see the junctions too much anyway. And then I'm going to glue these together. Just one way of doing it. Pretty much came in here, up in here somewhere, all the way down here, and up to here, right? That's what I did there. Add this guy on there. Just hold it down. And I'll be right back and we can continue. Okay, let's just make sure that made some good connection, and, you know, pretty quickly and easily, and then you can imagine we're going to pop this in here somewhere, looking cute. Okay, and our flowers. So again, special tools are great. If you don't have special tools, that's fine too. With this guy, I'm just going to kind of go in here. You can definitely spray some water on them to kind of do some of this fun stuff. You can make them go one way. You can make them go back the other way. Like, just go around the edges and it'll just give a different kind of cupping. This is just a end of a pen, you know, so just something like that. And I'll do that with all of them. Just kind of have some fun shaping them a little bit. Maybe curling on the back side. It's just giving them a little bit of something, okay? So I will be right back. Okay, guys. So I kind of formed them up a little bit, and we're just going to put these guys together, and, you know, I'm going to put this smaller one at the bottom. I don't know, I feel like I like that better. But if you want to put it on top, you know, whatever look you're going for. So I'm going to do this with all of them. Just place them together like this. And you can cup them more, you know, depends on how much dimension you want on your card, right? You want them to be a little flatter, a little more malleable. You like them being really kind of big and fun. You know, you can do that too. And then we're going to work on our little roll-ups. So I'll be right back once I get these all together. Okay, so I have my little flowers. Just put these guys here. And then we have the centers. And, you know, I mean, if you just want to put like a rhinestone in there, you know, make it really fun, make it your own that way. You can do whatever you like. You can add some of that little pollen stuff on these guys once you roll it up. Whatever it is that you want to do. So I'm just going to put a little line of glue here. And I'm just going to take a reverse tweezer or any tweezer or just whatever quilling tool you have and just roll this guy up. And hold on to that. I know Susan likes to kind of cut these guys up a little thinner even. I'll show what I mean by that. Before she rolls them up, she'll go in and like cut into each of these little guys with a scissor. Just cut, and it'll just make it more froofy. But there you go. I'm gonna do the same thing with the other 3, and we'll add them to our flowers. Okay guys, so we have our little centers, and they're a little tall, and you know, you can just kind of go like that, give them a zhuzh, whatever it is that you want to do to manipulate them to work for you. I think I'm going to trim them down just a little bit because, again, for me, for a card like this, I want them to be a little lower profile. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to also cut them down in here just to make them a little more pliable, kind of like I had mentioned before, but now that I see it in real life, I can see that I'd rather it be smaller, okay? So I'm going to trim that down for my purposes because I like my card to be a little flatter, and then we're just going to pop these guys in the center of our flowers, and you can just hold on to it. You can put it in one of those little flower forming cups, whatever it is. I'm using a fast grabbing glue, hot glue, all that kind of stuff, but I'll be right back. So I'm just putting the very center of that right there. Okay guys, so we have our beautiful card base, we have our flowers, our little stem, which I'm pretty much going to stick down, I think right where it is. That looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is just put some glue all along this. I don't know exactly where it's going to touch. I do want it to touch at the bottom there, like down in here to hold that, and then up here. So wherever, I'm just going to hold it down like this. I didn't do anything with the leaves, as you can see, to let them do their own thing. I'm going to hold that down for a bit, and I'll be back. Okay guys, so I just held that down for a bit, and I think for the flowers I'm going to use hot glue to glue them down because they are a little bigger, but they have a really nice base, so I mean you can definitely just stick them down, but for the tutorial I would like to just stick them and let them go. So we have like those guys, maybe that guy there, this guy in here somewhere, you know, they're going to kind of play off each other. I mean you can even put one like down here, but I like 3s. I don't know, I don't want to cover up too many leaves, so maybe this guy can be up a little higher than like this guy. Something like that. And then I have this sentiment. I just went and looked at my little batch of sentiments that I have, and I have this Glimmer to Get Well Soon, and I love the color burgundy that it has and everything, so I thought, oh, this one goes really well. So what I did was I just put dimensionals where I think it would avoid the little sticks, and I wanted it to be like here. So I can go up a little bit higher, actually. That'd be cute. And I think that looks good. So dimensional, dimensional, dimensional. It's the same height dimensionals I use for the other parts. And you know what? I feel like it's a little bit crooked. I can see that. Hold on. Let's move this guy down. And I really pushed it down too, didn't I? Yep, look at that. Okay, let's bring it down just a little. Okay, that's a little more straight. I'm gonna wait for this hot glue to be ready, and I'll just pop it on, and we'll be done with our beautiful card. Okay guys, so I'm going to take this little guy, get a little hot glue on the back here. I think it's ready to go. Something like that. And then these, I love the way these are positioned right now. Let's pop this guy down in here, right? And this guy can go next, and that one that's on the stem can go. And I usually don't pull these little strings off till I'm completely done. I think I can go like in there. I'm just holding that down. And then this, let me let that set up though completely, because I know this hot glue, look, I can still move it. For whatever reason, it gives me some time to play with, so that's kind of interesting. But I'm going to offset this flower. I feel like it's too much in the same position as the other one. Okay. I'll be right back. Okay. And then our last guy. Let me turn this guy off. And I want to push them kind of like in here. Something like that. I'm going to hold on to that guy. And I'll be right back. I'm just kind of cupping it on top of these other ones. Okay, guys, and that's it. And just leaving the leaves do their own thing. It looks really more organic. So I just took down the stem or the branch, I suppose, wherever I thought was good. And then we popped our little flowers in here and there. And still super cute, just with some quick ways of putting it together without doing too much inking and all these other things. So just something to jump into, and then, as you build up your skills, you can do more and more flower forming and all these fun things, these fun techniques that go into that. But I really love my little card for today. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll have images coming up. I'll have the links in the description box, and I will see you all at the next one. Bye now.